Do you need a lawyer? My thought is that if you're asking yourself that question, you probably do need a lawyer. But in this video, I'm going to go through some of the scenarios and the reasons why you might want to hire a lawyer for a personal injury case in Colorado. My law firm, the Greer Law Group, helps people every day that have been injured. They help them navigate the system and make sure that they get the best outcome that they could possibly have after being injured as the result of somebody else's negligence. So let's start with number one. Number one is probably the main reason that people say that they don't want to hire a lawyer. And actually, instead of starting with number one, let's talk about the build up to number one. So you call a lawyer, and the reason that you're calling a lawyer is because you really don't know what to do. And so number two on my list is actually knowledge. A personal injury lawyer in Colorado knows what to do, who to contact, and how to properly instruct you as to what you need to do and who you need to contact. Now, that knowledge, the personal injury attorney is going to apply to every aspect of your case, not just the moment that you hire them, but throughout your case. And they're going to take their knowledge of the law, their knowledge of the insurance company, and their knowledge of outcomes in Colorado. And if your case has to go to trial, they're going to use their knowledge of their trial skills and how juries react and how juries render verdicts. All of those types of things are going to go into the decision making as to whether your case is going to get the best attention that it needs. Now, if you are trying to do this on your own, you really don't have that base knowledge. For instance, medical treatment is really, really costly, and everybody knows it's costly, and you're going to have to incur those medical bills. A lot of people want to know in a personal injury case, well, am I going to be stuck with these medical bills? And if I do it myself, am I, possibly not going to be stuck? Well, technically, if you needed an appendectomy, you could try to do that yourself, and you definitely would not be stuck with medical bills, but you might, if you're lucky, you might just have a scar. And if you're not lucky, you're going to be rushed to the emergency room and you're going to have medical bills anyway, because you might really mess something up. So that's really kind of what you need to decide if you want to apply to having a lawyer, because they're going to help you through all of those steps, and they're going to tell you, these are the things that you can do. This is the type of medical treatment that you need. Personal injury attorneys are really not just attorneys, they're counselors. If you've ever heard that attorneys are often called counselor, and the reason that is because we talk to you about more than just the law. And in a personal injury case, your medical treatment is one of the most important things that you can go through when trying to recover from an injury that is not your fault. And a personal injury lawyer will be able to help you with those things. And so that's really one of the things that's important. I consider that number two on my scale, which is knowledge. Number three is peace of mind. All of these things that we talk about, you actually don't have to do the majority of them other than get your medical treatment. Once you hire a personal injury attorney, they will contact the insurance company. They will write the letters. They will talk to the adjuster. And doing all that, you're going back to the knowledge component, and they're using their knowledge to talk about your case and applying that knowledge when they talk to the adjuster. Because shockingly, and this is number four, insurance companies do not always tell the truth. So the insurance company's job really is not to give you the best outcome for your case or give you the best value to fully compensate you for what you've lost. Their job is to make sure that they save the insurance company money. And they're looking for certain things to try to determine whether or not they can use those things to lower the value of your claim. So you start out up here, and the insurance company starts asking you questions, and each question is bringing you down. Lawyers are going to know what those questions are, and they're going to know what it is specifically related to your case. Each case is a little bit different, and so it's not a one-size-fits-all, and you should not be looking for a one-size-fits-all attorney. You should be looking for an attorney that's going to take your case specifically, what is going on with you, and apply that to their knowledge and can communicate that to the insurance company. All of those things you will not have to deal with, which comes back to your peace of mind, because the insurance company is going to want all sorts of information. They're going to send you documents. One of those documents, just a pro tip right here, is they're going to send you a release. And if you really read that release, what it does is it allows that insurance company to obtain your medical information essentially from the moment that you were born. Now, you may say, oh, the doctors are never going to have that information all the way back to when they were born. But you know what? Some doctors do. I actually received some medical records from one of my clients' births, and he was born in 1967. And I had every single medical record from 1967 until the present day. And that obviously was none of the insurance company's business. And so another pro tip is that the only thing that's the insurance company's business is your injuries that were caused by the accident. That's all. That is the only thing that they're entitled to have. A lawyer is going to look through your medical records, and they're going to make sure that they only give the insurance company what they are entitled to under the law. And so by doing all of that, that saves you the time. Now, what that brings us to is the number one reason why people are concerned about hiring a lawyer, and that's money. I would tell you that if you were bringing a personal injury case just because of money, that you're not doing it for the right reason. And in that instance, you might not need an attorney because maybe all you want is a couple $1,000s, and the insurance company is likely to offer you that at the very beginning just to make you go away. The reason why they offer you that at the very beginning is because they know if they can settle your case quickly, that they're going to settle it for a lot less money, and you're going to be gone and they're not going to have to pay you. The studies have shown that if you hire an attorney, you are on average going to get 4 times the amount that you would have without an attorney, and that's even after attorney's fees. So just think of it this way. If you, as just on your own, if you're going to get $10,000, if you multiply that by 4, you would get $40,000 if you have an attorney. But since my math skills are not the best, which is why I don't do appendectomies and I do the law, I like to work in nice even numbers. And frankly, these are numbers that I work with all of the time. So let's say that on your own, you could obtain a settlement of $25,000. You don't have to pay anything else out of that $25,000. And so you get to keep the $25,000. Now, again, let's just use 4 times so that I don't have to do the math on the attorney's fees at the end, but 4 times that amount would be $100,000. A $100,000 settlement is something that I work with every day. And so what that would mean is your average attorney is going to charge you somewhere between 33.33% to 45%. Generally what happens is attorneys charge about 35% for settlement, and some attorneys increase that to 40% if your case goes to trial, and then the amount may be increased if the case is on appeal. So let's just deal with a 35% contingency fee if the case settles off of $100,000. So what that means is that the attorney is going to get $35,000. That seems like a lot, right? Because $25,000, well, hey, that's more than I would have gotten had I done this on my own. But if you look at it, that leaves $65,000. And that's the amount that you're going to be working with, is $65,000 versus $25,000. There are also things that personal injury attorneys do, which is called advance costs. We know that you were not in a position where you planned on being hurt. We know that you now have to go to medical appointments, that you have to take time off work, that you might not be able to work, and you're not getting paid for all of those things. And frankly, you don't have the money to go and do all of this on your own. So what we do is we front what is called costs. So oftentimes we have to collect your medical records. We may ask your doctors to write us letters, and doctors charge thousands of dollars for those letters. And what we do as personal injury attorneys is we pay that for you. You don't have to pay that out of your pocket. And you would have to do that if you were doing it on your own. You would have to pay to collect your medical records, you would have to pay your doctors to give opinions, and you would have to submit all of those things to the insurance company in a nice, neat little package and tell the insurance company why you think that you should recover in this case. So what we do is we pay that for you so that you do not have to pay anything out of your pocket. And we do what is called a contingent fee and a contingent cost. So here at the Greer Law Group, we do both. Some attorneys do not do contingent costs, but we do at the Greer Law Group. And what that means is that you do not pay us costs or anything unless we win. So you do not have to pay us anything out of your pocket unless we win and unless we recover something for you. So let's say that the costs were $5,000. And so then what you have to pay is you would have to pay us our contingency fee of 35% out of $100,000 plus $5,000 in costs, which would leave $60,000 for you at the end of the day. And what that means is that is more than double what you would have received if you would have done it on your own. And that is really important because we do not want you to have to be worried or stressed about money throughout this process. What we want you to be worried about is getting your medical treatment and making sure that you get better. And that's why I said, if you are just really focused and thinking about, well, hey, what am I going to have to pay at the end of the day? That is a huge worry. And it's completely understandable. But what we want you to be focused on is your medical treatment and getting better. We don't have to want you to worry about the money. I messed that up a little bit. Let's try it again. We do not want you to have to worry about the money. What we want you to worry about is your medical treatment, making sure that you're getting better, and making sure that you're getting everything that you need throughout the process, and that you don't have to speak to people that are not on your side. And so ultimately, the decision to hire an attorney really comes down to the peace of mind, because we are taking all of that away from you. You don't have to deal with it, and the only thing that you have to worry about is yourself. And that is the main focus and should be the main focus when you've been injured by somebody else. I hope this video has helped you decide whether or not you need a lawyer, and be safe out there.